Welcome to Clone Questions Live, episode 5. We're going to let some people start creeping in here. Hopefully we get some people coming through the audience. Welcome to everybody. Let's get a, let's see here, comment where you are tuning in from. Welcome everybody. Clone Questions Live. Episode 5. Let me pin this comment here. Let us know where you're joining in from. We got Vermont Grower. Welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's ready for another episode here. Keep this momentum going. We got Minnesota here. We got Michigan. Welcome to everybody. If it's your first time joining, we usually like to light something up at the beginning of the show. If you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate you. Appreciate the support. If you got any questions, nursery related, I got some case studies and some questions here that we'll go over. Advice on setting up a nursery business, a small nursery business. We got a question on brands, product recommendations and product substitutions. So we'll get into it, man. But welcome to everybody. Let's see here. We got San Francisco, we got Montana, Bozeman, yep. Callis Tech, Big Cheese. I'm not in tune with this Callis Tech. So you're asking the wrong guy, I guess. But callus is the first stage of rooting. So there's always going to be a callus before anything else when you're rooting clones. Toledo Indoor Garden, hello, welcome, big wave to you. I'm going to be doing Clone Questions Live May 6th, if I'm not mistaken, at the Toledo Indoor Garden Center. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be on a Saturday, not a Friday, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. Missouri, Detroit. Let's see here, Dan. What causes hollow stems? That's a very good question. I don't have the exact answer on what causes it directly. I know there's like certain parameters that are like been a common variable, but it's usually like seedlings or a lack of like calcium buildup in the cell walls, so it's like really hollow. Has something to do with transpiration as well. So I don't have an exact answer for you on what causes the hollow stems. So we got to do some more research, get some clarity for you there. But good question. We got Uruguay, we got Thailand, Austria, 2:30 in the morning in Austria. That's some dedication, man. I love it. Let me spark this up. Get Clone Questions Live going, episode 5. Let us know where you're joining in from. Get some questions out there. If you got something to spark up, spark it up. The first question got asked on a DM earlier today, and this gentleman was basically asking, look, man, I have OG BioWard, I have all these other microbe products that he already has that he doesn't want to waste. So he's like, look, is it possible to substitute and use these products until I could get what you recommend in your SOP? My answer was absolutely. Use it. If you got it, use it, man. It's just another microbe substitute. These things are not cheap, so I would not recommend to anybody to waste their money and go buy something else just because I feel like that's the only thing that could work. No, it was a very easy answer for him. The answer was use what you got. Don't let that, product go to waste, and use it until it's gone. And when it's gone, you'll have to replace it with something, and you'll see what you want to pick from there. But that was, something that came up today, and it's like, you guys, look, if you have a product, if you have another microbial, if you have another root stimulator, if you have another brand of gel, if you have another, brand of nutrient fertilizers, if that's what you have, and it's working for you and it does good for you and it's a good product, use it. Don't just let that stuff go to waste. We got, looks like South Central LA, Canada. We got a question here from What Trends. Do different clones have a different grow time? grow time, are you referencing like flowering time? Then yes, you know, obviously different strains there, but different clones having different grow times. Some clones or strains may take a little bit longer to root. Some may be more vigorous in the rooting and show roots earlier. There could be some variance there. Some plants don't clone very well or very pretty, I guess I would say. Some clones would just, you know, just kind of lose some of their shine during the rooting process. But if you have some ability to clarify that, I could probably answer that better. See here, Georgia Sanchez says, do you prefer using clone gel or powder? I prefer the gel. I've always used gel. I don't think I've ever even tried the powder. Um, you know, I've seen people do it. You know, it's still the same active ingredient inside these rooting hormones. It's just the carrier base, right? So I like the gel because it clings better. It's more visually, you know, it's just kind of been the standard of what I've always used. So you could use either one, because just remember, it's still the same active ingredient. See here. Let us know where you're joining in from, though. If you're just joining in, we got people from all over the world. The Clone Coach team is growing. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to the support. Had a little case study with someone asking if they could use a different brand of products while they still have it instead of buying something new. Something else that I recommend. 100% use what you got. Let's see here. Hey man, I have some other plants that have a slight sulfur deficiency, but I need to make my cuts. Any suggestions? If you need to make your cuts, you got to make them. Correct whatever deficiencies you can. The fastest way to do that is with the foliar spray. So you could foliar spray whatever you need to boost them with, and then give them a full nutrient feed on the soak. So when they do strike roots, they'll have everything that they need. But whatever your plant material looks like going in, or is, you know, growing wise going into the rooting process, that's the best that it could be. So if you don't have everything right, it could only go down from there. If you do everything right, it'll stay the same. We got Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Thailand, San Diego. I love it. I love it. Let's see here. Here's a question. Water in the bottom of the dome tray. Who else has this question out there? It's a good one. I've seen a lot of people make mistakes with leaving water on the bottom tray. The mistake being they leave it there too early in the rooting process, which increases their humidity levels, increases their moisture levels when there's no roots to really drink up that moisture. So when would I leave water on the bottom of a tray? Is when there's actually roots there that could grow into that water and drink it up. If there's no roots there, don't leave water on the bottom of your tray. See, is that Juan Jose Gomez? Looks like a USA flag and a Colombian flag. Hello to everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm scrolling down the comments here, so if I'm a little bit behind, sorry. I'm just trying to make sure we get every question answered. We got Brazil. We got California, lack of calcium, I think addressing, yeah, thank you, Mobile J. Addressing that that hollow stem, right? So it's a lack of calcium that really fills in those cell walls that gets that kind of white calcium look inside there. So make sure your root zone is healthy enough to have all the nutrient uptake. So whatever you're actually feeding at the root zone, it's being uptaked. And if you got to boost up the plant a little bit, foliar sprays are the fastest way to introduce nutrients to your plants. Toledo, I've noticed hydro had hollow stems more often. That's interesting. Maybe because of the draw, the demand that's being asked of on a plant when it's in hydro. Just lacking something. Let's see here. Best temperature for clone room. Call it 80 degrees. You're going to swing up a degree, 1 or 2 degrees. That's fine. But call it 80 degrees. I've been saying 78, but some people will let that swing down to like 75, which is too cold. Is where I don't want to be at 75. I'd rather have 80 or 82 versus 75. So let's call it 80 degrees. We got Minneapolis. What's the best way to grow outdoor? I'm not your coach for that outdoor grow. I don't have enough experience. I wouldn't want to start sharing and say the best way is this or that. So sorry, 3704 Gucci. I am not your coach to teach you how to grow outdoors. Let's see here. We got a couple questions stacking up. First time cloning, and it's in an aeroponic cloner. What temp and humidity is best? Like I said, temperature 80 degrees. Humidity, if you don't have a dome, you're going to be at least 75% humidity. I'm going to have to play with that. Once again, clones require more humidity in the foliage when there's a lack of a root zone, but once there's a root zone, you start transitioning and decreasing the humidity up top, and it starts using the roots to uptake the moisture. So in that transition phase, where you actually have roots, you just need less moisture up top. Here's another question. What about aloe vera instead of gel? There is some truth to that. I mean, there are natural hormones in aloe vera, in I think it's willow bark, some other, there's natural occurring hormones out there that are beneficial. So you could try it, give it a shot, try a powder, try a gel. The thing is, it's not, made to be put and used as a propagation tool or product, I'm sorry. So, play with your sourcing of it, but generally speaking, yeah, there's good hormones in aloe and other natural products that could help in the rooting process. Let's see here. Let me take a little sip. Let's see here. If you got questions, let us know here in the comments. If anybody could join the link in my bio and go be an audience on Riverside FM and try to call in with their question, that would be super cool. I've been trying to do it for a few episodes and can't quite get it right. But if anybody could do that, that would be super cool. Try to join in on the link in my bio and call in with their question. You will be recorded if you call in and I accept your call, just FYI. But I think that'd be a good way to have just like that phone call type of conversation, or, get your question answered that way. Let's see here. If I take cuts from plants with purple stems deficiency, how should I correct during cloning to ensure healthy roots? Don't correct it during cloning. During the cloning process, you're trying to just take it through a rooting process. You're not trying to correct deficiencies at that point. So make sure your moms are where they need to be, all your deficiencies corrected on your mother stock first, and then take your clones. Once you do that, you could maintain the same momentum and the same correct food levels from the mother plant to your clones, and all you do is trigger the rooting process. Once you have roots, you're back into the vegetative process, and you'll be uptaking the same nutrients that the moms are happy with. So to answer your question, correct it on the moms, not during the clones and the rooting process. Let's see here. But let us know where you're joining in from if you're just joining. I'm scrolling through all the comments here, so I'm a little bit behind. That's 10. Usually had 10 to go. I have to answer the questions that get on here before I lose them. Then I end up catching up towards the end of the show usually. See, when can you spray IPM on fresh clones? If you're just referring to the product IPM, like from Athena, or any IPM, if it's a non-residual or non-intense IPM type of product or foliar spray, you could do it at any time. You could dunk them before you plug them. You could do a little mist during the rooting process. If it has no interference with the light or any residuals that's going to affect anything on the foliage, you could spray a light dose of IPM on the clones before, during, or after. Let's see here. We got Northern California, Mississippi. Got another question. Do you think soaking your cube in aloe for a few hours before putting in your snips with rooting agent? It can't hurt. It can't hurt. I always like to up as much of the good biologicals in my pre-soaks and my drenches on my veg plants. So any little extra beneficial that's in there, I mix it in. It's really no harm. Let's see here. So the question, do you pH for watering clones? Yes, absolutely. Once again, a clone is just, the same vegetative growth off that mother plant, just a new set of roots. That's it, and a little smaller root zone. So treat it the same. I'm usually hovering 5.8 to 6.0. And ideally, once you make whatever mix you're making and let that, mix up and settle nice and evenly, usually that pH is pretty spot on. If it's within range from a point or two, I just send it. I'd rather do that than start, playing with the pH adjustment and whatnot. So I definitely pH the watering for the clones, which is normal, 5.8, 6.0, whatever you're feeding your mother plants. Vermont grower, any experience cloning males? Is there a difference between males and females? I don't have any experience cloning males per se, but there should be no difference. The sex of the plant is what's different, but it's still a plant, still going to root, still is a vegetative state. Like, there really shouldn't be any major difference between the two. I'm tuning in from the damn radiology department. Howdy. Well, I wish you the best at my craft medicine. I hope everything works out well for you. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for, hopefully this helps, distract a little bit too. We got Cali in the house. Let's see, we got San Diego, Bay Area. Let us know where you're joining in from if you're just joining. Trying to work through all the comments here, all the questions in the chat. So I'm just scrolling down, trying to catch up here. But get your comment, get your question in there, and I'm scrolling through everything, so I'll get it at some point here. Let's see here. Have you ever dipped your cuts in Great White? No. Great White is not really fully water soluble, so I don't like to use it in any sort of use like that where it's suspended in water or anything like that. So it's a good powder to mix during transplant stage, at the root zone, things like that. But for me, it's not fully water soluble, so I don't like to put it in a liquid solution. Let's see here. What am I smoking on? I'm smoking on the end of a bag of, what was this? Julius Caesar. Let's see here. Do you keep a small amount of water in the bottom of the clone tray? I already answered that one. Only when there's roots is a short answer. Let's see here. There's a question. When do you start opening vents on domes? Right away. I never close them. Ever. I don't want closed vents. Ever. So from day one, it's at least 50%. If you have excess humidity in your room, you could have them fully open from day one. But at least 50%. Let's see here. We got, oh shit. Real deal Kevin Finn, Southern California in the house. We got New York. Let's see, we got a question from New York here. Why do some of my clone stems form an S-type pattern a day or so after the cut and remain that way? Why do your clone stems form an S-type pattern? The only thing I could think of is one time where me and Rio Deal Kevin Finn, there were some stems that accidentally got soaked in some alcohol and twisted up the stems real funky. We thought we put it in a nutrient solution, but the cup was right next to the nutrient solution and they got soaked in alcohol. But I'm not sure what you're describing there, Dust Jesus, so maybe elaborate on that. We got Bay Area, we got LA, El Jefe, what's going on? Bozeman. What we got here, Bozeman? Our Chem 91 seems to be the only one discolored by day 14. Tips for keeping difficult cuts happy. Yes. So I would once again look at the moms. Are the moms suffering anything like a deficiency like that during its growth? If not, and even though the clones got watered with full strength nutrients like the moms, by day 8, day 10, day 12, whatever, when they got roots, by day 14 they're still yellow, or they're getting yellow. Um, Check the obvious sometimes. Check your pH. But if you need to bounce something back pretty quick, foliar sprays are the fastest way. So get a nice little solid foliar spray that actually has some light NPK value, um, along with like the kelp and stuff like that. And give them some foliar sprays maybe a few times during the rooting process to see, and do some trials. Do a tray where you foliar sprayed twice, once a week, maybe just once, maybe 3 times, and you could see where your sweet spot is. Let's see here. How many clones do you estimate being pulled from the following setup? A 2x4 tent with high quality LED, 4 plants in 2 25-gallon fabric pots. In 2 25-gallon fabric pots, build a living soil with worms and microbes. Those are big pots, but I guess you need that for living soil. It's hard to say because when you're growing with like hydroponic style of growing, you could expect more growth and faster growth. With living soil, generally speaking, you're not going to get the same kind of growth. But in a 2x4 space, on average, you could get 12 to 20 clones per square foot every 14 days. So if you're really pruning and shaping your moms right and stuff, so you should be able to get, 30, 60, 60 clones, maybe a tray and change, off of that. And it depends what you would consider a quality clone, or where you would stop cloning, whether you get secondary clones or a little bit thinner ones, kind of those B materials. If you just all A's, you're going to have less. If you take the A's, B's, and C's, well, you'll have more clones in general. Let's see here. Toledo, I like water in the bottom of the trays, but not touching the cubes. Yeah, definitely. Whenever there is water in the bottom of the trays, it's only 300 to 500 mils. It's not touching the bottom of it's not touching the cubes or that celled tray above. It's really a thin layer on the bottom. Here we go. Let's see. If you're just joining, let us know where you're joining in from. I'm trying to get through all these questions here. Episode 5, Clone Questions Live. We got a few questions here. Let me light this guy up. Keep this going here. Let's see here. Raider Nation 75. What about water in the tray with perlite? I used to put perlite in the bottom of my trays. It was usually when I needed them to, sit on the tray for a little bit longer period of time. And or if I was doing like full slabs, either like Oasis cubes or rock wool slabs, and I had them, the cube was touching just the bottom of the mesh tray, and there wasn't really any air gap there. It was just hitting the solid tray, so I would add perlite just to gain, a half an inch of space in the bottom of those flat, slabs for those roots to kind of fill into. Let's see here. We got Ontario, Canada. We got Washington State. Tucson, Arizona. Thanks, everybody, for joining. I appreciate the support. This is every Friday now. Clone Questions Live. Oh, shit. Hey, the link for Riverside is not in your bio. Oh, thanks for letting me know, man. I guess, a little technical difficulty on my side. Oh, Dust Jesus, here's some clarification on that question earlier. Like it bends over, then bends back up the next day to the light. If your stems wilt over right away when you've plugged them, look at what you're doing with your stems before you plug them. Are you letting them sit out in the air without solution for an extended period of time? that stem sit out away from solution, from when you cut it off the mother plant, you just set it on a pile and not put it into water immediately and keep it in water until you go to plug it. If you don't keep it in water till you go to plug it, it's possible that it wilts out, and by the time it goes into the tray, the dome, it's already wilting because of that. So if it's happening that fast on day one, right when you plug it, your clone wilts, look at what you're doing the hour or two before that thing gets plugged. Let's see here. Here's a question. Cuts in the first week of flower, okay to do? Any tips? Treat it the same. 1 week in a flower, you're not going to have any big difference as far as plant structure goes. That'll probably start happening week 3. First 2 weeks really should be no difference. Most people just take side branches or bottom branches when they do that because they want to leave their tops for the flower. So, you won't get that regrowth fast enough for you that, if you take a clone off the top. So, tip would be just to pull it off the side or the bottom and, treat it the same. A week in a flower is no big deal. Let's see here. How was NorCal to you? NorCal was good. NorCal was, me visiting a coaching client. So he has about an acre worth of hoop houses that he needs to produce 25,000 clones for. And so the help and assistance was in building up the mother stock and building out and designing the mother room so that they could produce that amount of clones for their internal use and build out and design their clone room to house and root 25,000 clones. So that's the strategy there. That's going to be, ongoing for a few months. So I'll be heading up there every couple weeks, maintaining that presence and building up the mom stock till we get to the point where we can cut off the mom stock and make those 25,000 clones. So NorCal was good, man. It's nice that I could fly up first thing in the morning and fly back last flight in. And it's a long day, but it's a full day, and I'm able to get that taken care of. And if you guys are interested in a situation like that, some on-site coaching, you could go to clonecoach.com. Prices are going to go up at the end of this month because my schedule's starting to get filled up. So those big discounts are going away. Go to clonecoach.com and check out the on-site coaching if that's something you want to get taken care of. Let's see here. Bubble and apple juice. Yeah. Mr. Wright, the MC, was joined us last week because I did a little game there where I had people guess what I was sipping on, and the winner was going to win the SOPs, but no one got it till the end. So Bubblies and an apple juice was what I was drinking last week. Let's see here. Greenhouse Advisor, outdoor equals from seed. If anybody needs quality seeds in bulk, hit up Greenhouse Advisor for your seed needs. If you guys heard that, if you need seeds, hit up Greenhouse Advisor here on Instagram. Let him know Clone Coach sent you. He'll get you taken care of. Let's see, we got Ann Arbor, Michigan. If you're just joining, let us know where you're joining in from. If you got any questions, just put it in the comments. I'm scrolling through the entire chat and making my way down. Mr. Red asked me, where am I tuning in from? I'm in the Palm Springs area, so Southern California, down here in the desert. What's my favorite rooting agent? Favorite rooting agent would be IBA, indole 3-butyric acid. That's the active ingredient, the rooting hormone that actually triggers, the rooting process to happen faster. Favorite brand, there's only been so many brands out there, so I've tried them all. I've tried a good amount of them, not everything. But actually, on that note, I want to create my own favorite rooting agent, rooting gel. So that's in the works. That's in the brainstorm portion right now. And if you would humor me, would that be something you'd be interested in? Would you be interested in using a Clone Coach rooting gel, something that I manufacture, produce, and formulate to have our own rooting gel? What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments there if you guys would be willing to try it, and are curious enough to see if there's another option that would be best for you, and it'd be something that I would be 100% behind from the ground up. Let's see here. Got some hearts and likes on that one, so I think you guys are like that idea of having a Clone Coach rooting gel. I love the idea. I'm like, I'm in it. I'm making calls. There's already meetings, being set, and everything being designed and laid out, and how I want to package it and bottle it, and pricing and active ingredients and little bonus ingredients that I want to throw in there. Really just make the best rooting gel that I want to make, and I feel like everybody on the Clone Coach team would benefit from. And I would love to manufacture that and have my own little warehouse where I'm manufacturing these batches of rooting gel for the Clone Coach team, and giving them another solid option that they're a part of in building from the ground up, just like I would be. So that is the goal, guys. So if you guys like that idea, just holler. And I'm debating whether something like a what do you call it, like a Kickstarter would make sense for something like this. What do you guys think? Would that be something that would make sense, where you kind of pre-purchase product through a Kickstarter campaign, help raise the funds for the tooling, the equipment, all that good stuff to get this product to you guys and really be a part of it from the ground up? Because it won't be cheap. It won't be a cheap venture, but this is something I would really, really want to do. So if you guys would be willing to be a part of it, and think a Kickstarter campaign would be something good, just let me know. Once again, let's see here. Make sure I don't have any calls over there. Gray Beard, what's going on in the IE? Smoking some watermelon Bubba. I think that's your homegrown watermelon Bubba, right? Let's see here. Dipping your cuts in great white powder. Nope. I just dust that on roots. Let's see here. Toledo, Aeroclone versus Dome and Cubes, and why? I'm going to go Dome and Cubes. Why? It's because I've always made clones to provide them in other gardens. And it's so much easier to provide a tray of clones where it already has that base cube for it to stay, stable in and upright. I couldn't imagine, you would be forced to transplant your Aerocloner clones into a loose media and not really have that solid base there for transport, or you really wouldn't need to let it sit and whatnot. So I think just like the handling of the finished rooted clone is where I would, where you would have most effect there. And that's where I would just stick with domes and cubes. We got a Nevada Desert in the house. I don't know how far down I am in the chat. You guys could probably scroll up and see, but I'm just scrolling down trying to keep up, but I'm trying to get to everything here, guys. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you guys need testing services for Fusarium, for Hoplite and Viroid, anything like that, go to myfloradna.com and use discount code CloneCoach. Get your plants tested, get your garden tested, make sure you get everything you need. Use discount code CloneCoach at myfloradna for all your testing services. Let's see here. We got a Big Bear. Nice. That's not far away. Let's see here. What's the best way to transport 3 plants, day 70 of flower? Moving before harvest is stressing me out. Day 70 of flower, and you got to move and you got to chop down? Brother, just chop it down. You're not chopping at day 45 and having to deal with, a truly early plant. Day 70 of flower is close enough, man. Chop it, put it in a yellow tote bin, and you could go wherever you got to go. But if you're just joining, let us know where you're joining in from. Scrolling through all the comments here in the chat. Toledo Indoor Garden is where I'll be doing a Clone Questions live May 6th. See here. Do you think a plant has to be a certain age before you can take healthy clones? Healthy clones and health and age, no. You could have a healthy young plant, right? And you should have a healthy young plant. You should have a healthy plant no matter what the age of that plant is. So with age, you'll get size and development, and then you could take clones without sacrificing the rest of that plant's regrowth. But if you don't care about that plant, you could take clones earlier, take everything that's there, and get rid of the plant, or really have a ugly structured plant if you just chop it down to random nodes and stuff. So that age is where you get the help in leaving a decent structure behind and taking a few clones off the top and letting that regrow. And whenever you take a clone, ideally you're leaving at least 2 nodes behind. So in 2 weeks or the next little growth cycle, you're going to have exponential growth every time moving forward. So the earlier you take it, you could take 1, maybe 2, then you'll get 4, then you'll get 8, then you get 16, then you grow exponentially, ideally. A good question. Let's see here. New Zealand in the house. Michigan. Lawton, Oklahoma. Joining from NorCal? No, Southern California. Got El Jefe chilling in the mother room. Nice. Killing it over there, I'm sure. We got Boulder, Colorado. See if I got these questions over here. Let's see here. How wet do you keep the plugs initially? I fully saturate them, put them in a tray, tilt it, drain out the excess for maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds, and that's it. So the initial soak is a full saturation with just the excess poured out. Vent's always open. Okay, that kind of tells me where I am, how far back I am in the chats. If we're talking about the vents here. Why don't you close the vents? Too much humidity? Yes. Simple answer is yes. And it doesn't allow the dome to breathe. If hot, humid air wants to leave, let it leave. Let's see here. Boulder. Thank you for joining, everybody. Letting us know where you're joining in from. Let us know what questions you have. This episode of Clone Questions Live. Let's see what we got here. Scrolling through the chats, trying to make my way through it, so be patient. Thank you for your patience there. What's the highest humidity average in the dome during the first 5 days of cloning? Highest humidity average would be low 90s for the first 5 days. Low 90s would be the average. Raider Nation 75. Thank you for everybody for joining. Let's see here. Ruben Benitez 420 says, do you recommend continuing Mom's IPM on clones? I always use Floralicious Plus in my foliar and silica once a week. You said Mom's IPM. Floralicious Plus and silica is not IPM. So those foliar sprays that they're just like nutrient-based foliar sprays, you can. Should be no harm. IPM foliar sprays, depends what your eye products are, it can do harm, and I would recommend not keep doing those foliar sprays of IPM products during the rooting process. I would treat the plants before on the mother plants. I would fully submerge them into a solution prior to plugging, and then I would start that back up day 14 moving forward. Let's see here. Orlando, Florida. How about this? If anybody could guess where I was born, it's a city in Florida. Anybody could guess where I was born, I'll give you a copy of the clones SOP and the mother plant SOP. So whoever's here right now, if you want to win a free copy of the mother plant SOP and the clones SOP, best clones ever, best mother plants ever. I was born in Florida. Guess which city, and it's yours. So in the comments, let us know where you're guessing. We got Philadelphia in the house, Oklahoma, Bellingham, Washington, Chicago, Illinois, Austin, Texas, on that Clone Coach Tech. Nice morning dew canna. I've seen that before, Tina. You see that with Clonex Gel from El Jefe. Is there a strain you wish you could get back? Paul Fish 14. I like that question. Yeah, there is a strain. It's Wonder Woman. It's the first genetic that I had in my nursery. It's from a seed that I purchased when I was in high school. I ordered seeds from Europe, had them stored in a drawer because I didn't have anywhere to grow these seeds, but I still had the seeds. Gave them to a friend. They had a garden. They grew them out. When I finally wanted to start my nursery and my room, they had the genetics going. I was able to take my first clones ever off of that Wonder Woman plant, clone them, root them, and that became some of the first initial nursery stock that I started my nursery with back in 2015. So yeah, and that nursery was called Neighborhood Nursery, by the way. If anybody remembers Neighborhood Nursery, give me a little shout out there. But yeah, that's the strain that I would get back if I could. Wonder Woman. Let's see here. Wild Bill Cody Grower. I remember seeing you in another one. Welcome back. What are your thoughts on having the clone room manager also be the manager of Mon Room? Yeah, 100%. There shouldn't be that big of a distinction between the clone room, Mon Room, Veg Room. They all should be in the same environment, same lighting, same food, same procedures, same type of plant work, all that good stuff. So, yeah, unless it's like a giant nursery operation and it calls for that because there's so much production. But unless you're doing, 25,000 clones a week or something, I don't think you need that. You need to have it separated. Let's see, Raider Nation, I mixed a solution equal to my mother's feed, and now I see more success with my clones. No dripping clones, and I look happier within 24 to 48 hours. Thanks for the advice. I no longer trip off cloning. Boom. That's what it's about, man. The tangible value that I'm providing out here, it's real and it's thick, man. The shit works. I know it kind of goes against what most traditional methodologies of cloning used to be, where you would eat very, very light food, very little food, crazy amount of humidity, no warmth, just poor success. Now we're feeding full strength newts. We're feeding the same solution as their mother plants. That's one of the biggest tips I could give anybody. Just do that. And if your mother plants were happy, your clones should be happy too. Let's see here. I'm trying to catch up. I'm a little bit behind on this chat here, so I'm going to scroll through a little bit quicker because we're getting close to the end here. So let's see here. How long after the dome comes off before the clones need to be placed in the media? Once the domes come off, clones need to be transplanted within a day or two. Is ideal. Let me scroll through here faster, people. It's been a good episode, man. It's already 6:15. Ideally, it's an hour-long show, so we'll be wrapping it up here soon. But I haven't even got to the chat, the comment section of where I asked about the rooting gel and stuff. So I'm a little bit behind. So I'm gonna try to scroll through this last little bit. If I didn't get to your question, I apologize. But shoot me a DM or something. I think what I'm going to start doing is answering all the questions I get in the DMs with a little video clip so that I could share that with other people. So it's not... So more answers get shared with everybody. I use aloe, dip and grow. Using a proven product, why not? Definitely will try it. Gel 100. Okay. What pH do you recommend for the turbo cloner? 5.8. Let's see here. If the price is right, absolutely. Now we're in the gel section of the comments. Yes, we got a yes. Bring another liquid to the market. It won't be a liquid. El Jefe will be a gel for the rooting hormone. So someone else says willing to try it out. How long can clones stay healthy after the domes come off? Healthy depends on what you're feeding it and what the environment's like. But ideally, you have about a week before the plants get start getting overgrown, and you have to increase the the plant work. You have to de-leaf some clones. You have to separate some clones, decrease the plant count per tray, just so to make sure it's growing properly. What's your process for cleaning and resetting domes and trays for the next run? Wash, rinse, sanitize. Wash with the detergent, get all that dirt, grime, gunk off, scrub it, rinse it with fresh water, and then use a sanitizer like 10% bleach to sanitize those clean surfaces. Let's see here. Orlando, Florida. Would you ever make a video that goes along with your process in the clone and mom's tech? That video is in my SOPs. Grab the SOPs and you'll have footage from both of those processes. But right now I don't have my own nursery. So that's why I don't have that active content right now, because I don't have a nursery pumping. So I'm in between grows. So that's why I don't have that current stuff popping right now. Let's see here. We got Victorville in the house. We got if the root agent you make pricing is competitive, I'd bite. To address that, 100%. I think I would probably even be better priced. But I've already researched the pricing per ounce on all the common products. And on the low end, you're probably like $3.75 per ounce. On the high end, I'm seeing products that are like $5.50 per ounce of gel product. So I'm looking at the price points. I don't want to be the highest. I want to be competitive. Because if I'm able to do so, I'd love to. So I want to be priced towards the lower end. It's a really smart way to source your content ideas, dude. Thank you. It's I gotta have the mindset of being efficient so I could produce as much as I can, for everybody here. So it's that mindset. Let me scroll down the chat. Let's get into the end here. Yeah, Michigan. Have you used Q plugs? Are they any good? Yes, they're just like root rights. They should work just fine. We got Denver. Thanks for the reply. We got Hawaii. Let's see. Raider Nation. Naples, Tallahassee. Raider Nation, where do we know each other from? Because Raider Nation got it right. Raider Nation got it right. Where I was born on that giveaway. Let's see here. I think it was even the first guess. Hialeah, Florida. That's where I was born. Hialeah, Florida. Raider Nation. Let me make a note. I know we've probably been active in DMs or something like that, because I've seen, or in comments or something. I've definitely seen your handle a lot. Raider Nation, free guides. Hell yeah, man. Good guess. You got it right. Born in Hialeah, Florida. Let's see here. So I'm saying, do we know each other? Because how'd you guess that right off the bat? Is that too easy? Like, did you like, oh, this is in the bag. I already know this one. He told me this when we met that one time or something. But either way, well, you guessed some other cities, so maybe it was just a good guess. How many nodes would you leave on a clone? 3 to 5, or 3 to 6. Let's see here. Like I said, if I didn't get to your let's see here. I'm at the end of the chat, so I didn't get to everybody's question. A good guess, man. Hialeah, Florida. You got it right. Do you guys like those little random impromptu giveaways? I think, kind of aids in the interaction, I think it's fun. And Raider Nation's going to get a copy of the SOPs, so I think Raider Nation thinks it's fun. Do you recommend using heating mats? I recommend it if you're in a cold climate, say, Montana, North Dakota, East Coast, Vermont, something like that, where you get these extreme weathers, you get snow and stuff like that, dude. Yeah, put some heating mats on there. I live in Southern California, so I've never had to deal with anything like that where I'm in dire need of a heat mat. If my room's 80 degrees, you should be just fine. That generally is the case, but if you're in a cold area, or you got a cinder block room or something like that, cinder block warehouse or a basement, yeah, I would bust out a heating mat. Do you use Mycos in soaking cubes? I don't. I don't use Mycos when I soak my cubes. I think I could talk for a lot of us here, man, but I think I would absolutely buy it. Plus, we are both local, so get it out there and we'll let it be known. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I appreciate the support. Raider Nation, Cuban, Mexican? I am Mexican, not Cuban, but surrounded by Cubans and Hialeah, obviously. You promote Masonic a lot. Cool, dude. I'm going to be at the Free Seed Day at Masonics on Fairfax. I got it plugged in my calendar, so whoever's out there, I can't wait to see you guys out there. Let's see here. Cousins were from there, and I get the same vibe from you. Let's see here. You also guessed the bubbly. That's right, you did. Man, what's going on here, Raider Nation? Hell yeah, guys. I think it's been a really fun episode. What do you guys think? If you're out there and you're watching this on the YouTube after the fact, I upload the full episodes on my YouTube channel. Just go to Clone Coach on YouTube. You'll get it there. If you need the best clones ever, man, best mother plants ever, go to clonecoach.com. If you want on-site coaching, for me to come to your farm, to your nursery specifically, and get you that guidance that you need on site, go to clonecoach.com. Get you taken care of. If you need testing, Fusarium testing, Hoplite and Viroid testing, and many more for your plants, for your garden, for your nursery, go to myfloradna.com. Use discount code CloneCoach. Let's see here. We've got these last questions to wrap up Clone Questions Live, episode 5. I'm up in Big Bear, so I have to use a heating mat. Yep. Yeah, Big Bear's not far, man. I'm just in the bottom of the hill. Let's see here. Free Seed Day, don't sleep. I'll see you at Free Seed Day, man. I come up to me, let me know. You're Raider Nation 75, and be cool to say what's up. Hi, guy in LV will be there. Viva la Raza, coach from Brazil. What am I smoking on, Toronto Farmers? I'm smoking on the last of my Julius Caesar. I think it's like a Bubba Kush cross with something else. But have I ever dealt with rice root aphids? I've dealt with root aphids. I don't know if they were the rice root aphids, but I've definitely dealt with root aphids. If you're a commercial grower for any period of time, you probably have dealt with root aphids. If you haven't, probably are extremely lucky or are going to experience them soon. But I did it. Got through all the questions there. I think I may have missed a couple. Like I said, if you still have questions, shoot me a DM. Try to get to you that, or join us next week on Clone Questions Live every Friday. and we'll get to your questions then. But this has been a really fun episode. I really like the energy. We got a winner here that guessed why I was born, so they're gonna get a free copy of the SOPs that I have on clonecoach.com. It's gonna be a normal thing now. Every Clone Questions live, there's gonna be some random little poll or question to figure out, and at stake will be a set of the SOPs. So by joining and playing and participating, you are gonna increase your odds of getting free copies of these SOPs, which combined without discounts are valued at $794 combined without any discounts. So I try to give you guys value wherever I can, as much as I can. So the support that I get from you guys and the participation and stuff is what's the fuel for it all. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody out there. So I want to say thank you. But this has been a good one. You guys enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'm Paul, your clone coach. Catch you on the next one. Have a good night.